So obviously I was gone for a little bit, guys. Came back. A lot of Elon news. A lot of Elon news. And before I get into this video, I want to explain something. Is there something that I do want to say just in the crazy, crazy minute 0.0001% chance that Elon sees us? Elon, you look defeated. Every interview you do, you look like they're winning. Okay? You are fighting the entire system of how these people steal tax dollars. They are going to try to take you out. If you do not if you didn't, you're too smart to not have seen that coming. When you go after the entire matrix, they will come after you. Okay? So we're going to do a couple videos today, guys. This first video, I want to go over this because I don't remember any of this happening between 2020 and 2024 when Biden was in office. And the reason is twofold, right? The reason is one, conservatives have jobs, so they don't get to do this shit. They have to go to work for a living. But two, this is where your tax dollars are going. And most people are sharing these videos all over X, they're sharing these videos all over Twitter of all these people protesting and doing all this shit. You do realize that we're paying for these. Until we turn the faucet off, that is how these people are out there. There's videos all over X of people admitting that they're getting paid to come do these things. All over. You can go look it up. It's all over the place. The problem is we aren't turning the well off fast enough, and these guys have acquired so much wealth through our tax dollars that they can pay these people for the next 50 years. Because when you look at these people, like this marsupial down here, okay? Whatever this mongoloid is, okay? This person doesn't require a lot of money. Okay? They're wearing Goodwill clothes. If you offered them $100 for 2 hours to go lay on the pavement holding a sign, trust me, they're going to go do it. They have nothing else to do. Okay? They live on hardworking people's tax dollars. So let's go watch this video. This is outside a Manhattan Tesla station. RIP Medicare. Medicare for all. Where were these people when Biden was president? Because he didn't give out free Medicare. As a matter of fact, the only thing that they've cut, the only thing in Medicare or Social Security that they've actually cut is to people who are 120 years old or older, which every single person of those 2 million people that they turned off, every single one of them would be dead. There are 0 people in the United States over 120 years old. 0. If they're alive, they would be the most famous person in the United States. And we would turn their shit back on. The other 1,999,999 don't exist. But these people don't care because they don't pay taxes. They don't pay taxes because they have no actual ability to be in the real world and contribute. So therefore, they could be paid to go do this stupid shit. And I want you to think about that. Now, we've heard Jasmine Crockett, right? The just ghetto trash of a whatever, however the hell she got elected, right? Literally the other day she said, I don't have the clip pulled up, but she said Elon Musk became a billionaire by asking for it. That is a direct quote. So Jasmine, you're really smart. So I'm going to pull the same move. Please give me $1 billion. Fuck. Didn't work. Well, why not? Why is Elon better than me? He's white. His heart goes out to you. Why don't I get the $1 billion? Okay. Let's go to this because I want to reiterate this did not get covered in the media.
Trying to shit on everything he does, hide all the good stuff. You didn't hear a peep about Elon rescuing those people. That should have been on all of the news stories all day long. We should have had a live stream of it. It should have been a huge national event. We're finally going to rescue the astronauts who are trapped in the space station for 8 fucking months. And this super genius, this Elon Musk character, is the guy who figured out how to go get them. His company went and rescued them because we can't do it anymore. We couldn't rescue them. We had to rely on his company, and you don't hear shit about it. You don't hear shit about it. It's crazy.
Keep in mind, they were supposed to be at the International Space Station for 8 days. They were up there for 8+ months. Okay, 8+ months. Elon and his company were the only people on the entire planet who could save those people's lives. The only ones, the only government, the only black market whatever, the only dark anything, they were the only ones who could go retrieve those 2 people. Zero coverage. Zero coverage. And again, people wonder why nobody trusts legacy media. People wonder why all these clips come out and they just blast this guy all the time. But here's the problem, Elon. You have to understand that you are doing the right thing. Okay? If you just took the sentence, remove everything else, you just take the sentence. We want to remove excess fraud and waste from our taxes so that we can give people more of their own money back. Delete Trump and Elon, because every Democrat president candidate has said it. If you can go back and look at clips, they've all said it. The company that Doge is running off, the actual organization that they're running under the name of, they changed the name to Doge, but it was a company that Obama founded. It was an agency that Obama started to do the exact thing. But because it's Trump and Elon, it's bad. Which, guys, here's the deal. When Joe Biden became president, you know what every common sense human being said on both the right and the left? All right, we think Joe's an idiot. We think he didn't win the election. We think it was stolen. Blah, 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 blah. But I hope he proves me wrong and kicks ass. Every single common sense human being said that. Why? Because that's the hope. Even if your guy doesn't win, hopefully that person does a great job, right? Whether you like them or not. I have this problem in my companies all the time, right? Not everybody likes me, but they like the result that the company gets. That is far more important. And that's why I deal primarily with higher income people, is because typically when you deal with lower income people, lower income typically relates to lower intelligence. It just does. Lower skill, lower intelligence, lower ability. That's not me being an asshole. That is the truth. If you were higher skilled, higher intelligence, and higher ability, you would earn more money because you would produce a higher result. Okay, so that's just how it works. So here's what I did is I went on and I decided to ask Grok. I said, Grok, let's go through how Elon made his money from start to finish. Just because mainly I think Jasmine Crockett is retarded. And I don't know another word for her without racially profiling. So what we're going to do is we're going to start. Now, Elon did get a handout, folks, to start. Okay, he did get a handout. His dad gave him $28,000 to kickstart his first company, Zip2. Okay? He started that with his brother. It provided online city guides, business directories, et cetera, early version of digital maps and yellow pages. Now, keep this in mind because Zip2 is the foundation for everything that he's still currently doing for the most part that contributes to a majority of his wealth. You guys just haven't figured it out yet. So I'm going to baby bird spoon feed it to you. Okay? He started this in 1995. In 1999, Compaq, if you remember those computers, those beauties, I remember I used to play, what was it? Command and Conquer Red Alert on my Compaq. I don't know what you guys played on yours. I used to have AOL Messenger, AOL AIM with the 8th graders, right? That's what we used to do, okay? Zip2, he sold it for $307 million in cash and stock. Musk personally netted about $22 million of that money. So he went from 28,000 from his daddy to 22 million in 4 years. Okay? He saw things before anybody else did on the internet. Now again, this was during the golden age of the internet where if you had an idea and it caught, you became a monster, right? Now, so he's sitting on 22 mil. This is 1999. X.com. Well, that sounds familiar. That sounds familiar. Slash PayPal, 1999, 2002. Musk founded X.com, an online financial services and email payment company that merged with Confinity in 2000, which eventually became PayPal. Using part of his Zip2 earnings, Musk invested 10 million to launch X.com. So he went from 22 million, invested 10, so he's got 12 left, right? He's got 12 left over. His vision was to create an internet bank, but the focus shifted to online payments after the merger. In 2002, eBay bought PayPal for $1.5 billion in stock. Musk, a major shareholder with about 11.7% of the company, walked away with roughly $175 million after taxes at age 31. So 175 plus 12, we're currently at $187 million. Now, let's assume that Musk lived a pretty good lifestyle, so we're just going to remove all the money that he made. Let's say he lived off $12 million in 3 years, which we all know he didn't. He lived off far less because the guy was a psychopath, and you can look at videos of him sleeping in offices and being an absolute machine. Okay? So, 175 million. 2002, SpaceX. Obviously, we all know what SpaceX did. He founded it with $100 million of his PayPal earnings. So he's down to 75 million in the bank. He aimed to build reusable rockets, blah, 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 blah. Radical idea. Actually, he catches his own 8-story rockets now. This was in 2002. This was 23 years ago. Okay? 23 years he's been at this one company doing this. Now, obviously, due to the NASA contracts, and keep in mind, we're not going to discuss if the moon landing was real, because I don't know. But Musk got there. Musk has more satellites in orbit than anyone else, any government, too. Think about that. Okay? The dude launches satellites like freaking kids in Florida launch bottle rockets. All right? At 2025, SpaceX is valued over $350 billion privately, with Musk owning about 42%. Okay, so he owns 42% of that. So now we're at $180 billion, or 170 billion. Tesla in 04, okay, put 6.3 million and started it. So he did not start that for a lot of money. Currently owns around 13% of Tesla, worth about 50 billion. So he only owns 13% of Tesla. That's it, 13%. This is the company that these things are protesting outside of. Okay, so just to be clear, why aren't they outside? Why don't they go? You know where they should go protest? They should go protest under the Falcon 9 rocket for a launch. That's what they should all do. They should go protest, lay down with your signs right underneath the rocket, protest that. If Elon needs someone to press the ignition button, just let me know. Be happy to take care of that for you. Anyway, Solar City. This is where it gets fun. Solar City provided solar energy systems for homes and businesses. Musk co-founded it with his cousins and invested 10 million. So he's literally just doing deals with his family members. Now, they're big deals. Tesla acquired Solar City in 2016 for 2.6 billion in an all-stock deal. Man, all-stock deal. Where have I heard that before? Oh yeah, he just did it again with Twitter and his AI company that got valued at $80 billion. Which isn't even on here, by the way. Okay? So he's created so far, we have Tesla, we have AI, we have Zip2, we have PayPal, we have SpaceX. The only company to be able to save the 2 astronauts that were stranded there by the Biden administration. Okay? The Boring Company. This is where it gets good. A tunneling and infrastructure company aimed at reducing traffic congestion. Now, if you've paid attention to why people invest so much money in Tesla and why that stock is so high in comparison to most other car companies, is because if you talk to somebody who has money and has an intelligence, they will tell you Tesla, the value of Tesla is not the car. It's the mapping system, because every time those cars drive, they map every road they're on. They are creating a massive mapping structure so that when we do have autonomous vehicles, he owns the whole thing because he's already mapped the entire planet. Okay, that is where this gets funded. It's currently valued around $7 billion. Okay, Neuralink. I don't agree with Neuralink. I think it is a gateway to absolute insanity. However, doing some pretty cool things for a lot of people with very debilitating diseases. So I'm not going to start down that path right now. I just personally don't agree with the company. Okay, I think it is a very scary, scary, slippery slope to be on when you look at some of the things that that company is doing. And that's not even considering his robot company, which he is making, and they will be available, and I will get one for sure. Because if I never have to listen to my wife complain about the dishes again, I can't tell you the value that that would be in my life. If I came home every day and the house was crystal clean, the dog was walked, everything was great, and my dinner was made, and my wife literally just had to walk in the house. And you know what we could do? Here's what we could do. We could get like a, what we'll do is we'll get like a one of those molds, right? And we'll mold her mouth, right? And we'll put it on the robot, and then she won't have to do anything. She'll just have to be pretty. It'd be the only thing she'd have to do all day. How amazing would that be? Now, I understand one of the most misogynist sentences that's ever came out on the internet, and I'm completely joking. And if my wife ever watches this, she's a saint. And she does way more than cook and use her mouth. I'm just saying, she's pretty good at those two things.
Can I do that? I want to just do that.
No, I want you to just do that too, but sadly, we don't have the robot, okay? Hurry, Elon, save my marriage. All right, but anyway, guys, Twitter, just sold it. Don't worry about it. Not a big deal. Lost some money on there. However, that being said, that is how Elon went from zero to the richest man in the world. So, yes, he did take a handout from daddy, $28,000. However, most people back here, back in 1995, 1999, made Zip2, sold it, made $22 million, done. Very similar story to Mark Cuban. Except Mark Cuban hasn't invented shit since he did his one thing. Okay? He just buys stuff and talks shit on the internet. And looks like, I don't know, if Ellen DeGeneres and Lord Farquaad had a kid. Okay? Anyway, the point is, this guy literally has taken his money, put it back in and gambled. Taken his money, put it back in and gambled. Taken his money, put it back in and gambled. On 20 plus year companies. Multiple 20 plus year companies. With the intent to do incredibly large things. This guy did not need, nor does he ever need, these people's social security numbers, because their social security number is worth dick. Okay? You could take all of the people protesting across the entire country, add up their net worth, it would be negative. Okay? His credit score would go down if he stole all of these people's shit. His worth would go down if he stole all these people's shit. That's the actual truth that nobody wants to actually talk about. So here's the problem. What Elon needs to do is Elon needs to toughen the fuck up. The system's coming after you, buddy. I personally think you're an inspiration in the business category. I don't personally agree with a lot of the shit that you've built over the years. I'm not really big on the green energy deal. I don't really care much about Neuralink. I think it's a very dangerous, slippery slope. I think robots is going to put more people out of jobs. Considering that and your AI, they're eventually going to combine and become a super conglomerate company. There's your hot stock tip of the day. But at the end of the day, it is irrefutable that you are incredibly intelligent, incredibly um, diligent, one of the hardest working people probably to ever exist, and should go down in history for what you've accomplished in your lifetime. And I personally find it inspiring. And the problem that most people have, guys, is this: is when somebody elevates themselves to a level, people try to find something in that person to make them feel better about why they're not at that level. And this is what happens. It happens every step of your journey. If you decide tomorrow to be a great person and you want to change your life and you want to go out and create something, people will believe in you until you pass them. That is the truth. The second you're more successful than them, they will hate you. They will find ways to tear you down. They will find things about you. They will find character flaws. They will find mistakes you made, and they will amplify them. I know. Okay? I can only imagine the level of shit that this guy has to go through. That being said, you are going to go down in history as one of the greatest of all time, as one of the absolute geniuses in the human race if you stopped now. However, I'm begging you not to. I'm begging you to see this project through. Because even if it doesn't make that big of a difference in the long run, it will, because it's opening up enough people's eyes, especially business owners, especially people who are sick and tired of being slaves to the tax system. Because the people who don't understand that they are, you can't save them. You can't change their mind. They're too stupid. But the people who have brains that can say, well, I'm paying property tax, I'm paying income tax, I'm paying sales tax. When I buy something, I have to pay tax on it. Then when I sell it, I have to pay tax on it. Then when I resell it, I have to pay tax on it. Then I have to pay shipping, I have to pay tax on it. Then every grocery, I have to pay tax. Every gas bill, I have to pay tax. You're being taxed so many times on the same dollar. It is disgusting. But most people won't sit down and do the math. But it's upwards of 60, 70, 80%. Even if we get that down in half, imagine what you could do if you had half more money than half of the money you spent, you had that much more because you weren't getting quadruple fucking taxed on every single purchase you make. Because here's what people don't understand is how supply chain works. Okay. You start at the top. You grow fruit. Okay. Now, let's assume that you have seeds that you stole, right? So there's no tax on those seeds. You plant them in the ground, you spend all the money on the water, you buy the property, you do all these things. Those incur costs. That's what makes the product worth a certain value, right? You then take that product, you sell it to a distributor. That distributor has to send trucks. You have to package that. You have to ship that. And then the distributor has to then bring it to their headquarters. And then from there, they go to the little grocery stores. And then from the grocery stores, then they go to you. And the problem is the further down the ladder of the supply chain that you are, the more times that you are the reason that the price gets higher is because it costs more. So you have two options. You can cut out all the middlemen, which won't happen because the farmer does not want to do the business side, which is why there's middlemen. Okay? But they all have to make money along the way. The person who drives the truck, the person who picks the fruit, the person who packages it, the person who prices it, the grocery store clerk who sells it to you, all along the way, which is why eggs go from free out of a chicken's butt to $8 a fucking dozen. Supply chain and costs and taxes are the reason that things are expensive. And if you can cut down energy costs to ship them, which they're working on with drilling, and you can cut down the taxes, which they're working on with all of these things, prices go down faster than anything. Those are the biggest indicators of inflation. Ask anyone with half of a fucking brain. So what they are doing currently in this administration, no matter what you feel about the big bad orange man or my heart goes out to you, brother, right? No matter what you feel about that, when you wave Elon, just wave straight up. Don't go to the side at all. Just wave straight up. But no matter what you feel about them, when you take away their names and you look at what they're trying to do, it's the right thing to do. And that is why they won the election. That is why every single demographic and every single point went towards the right. Because it's either that or more of this dumb shit. And magically, we didn't have any of this dumb shit from 2020 to 2024 when the country got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. These guys are trying to break the system, and the system must be broken. Or people like you and people like me, because I've been there, the day that you wake up and say, I'm done being a fucking loser. The problem is if these guys don't succeed, it won't matter when you decide that. You will have no choice. You will be a loser forever because you will have no ability to make the American dream possible. Because they will control all the banks. They will have you priced out. You will not be able to do a startup. You will not be able to do anything. If I started my gym today instead of in 2016, I would not be able to afford it. I would have closed before I even got open. The 500,000 plus pounds that my clients have lost, the 15 people that we've saved their lives from suicide, all of the millions of the hundreds of kids that we have saved from child trafficking, every single thing that our companies have been able to do that provided good in this world would not have happened because I would have never been able to get started. And what you guys don't understand is that's what these guys are actually fighting for. Guys like Elon, who took 28 grand from his dad and probably shit his pants when he did, to be able to pay his dad back and say, Dad, I'm good for the rest of my life. And then he doubled down to make more impact and doubled down to make more impact and doubled down to make more impact. That's the actual dream. That's that thing inside you that every single one of us wants. And it will die if these guys do not succeed. Do all the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, blah, 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 comment, I don't know. Give me the finger, whatever it is you guys do. Okay? Help me grow. Peace.